The appointment of Mario Monti as Prime Minister in Italy in November last year was met with great enthusiasm. However, some experts have said that his honeymoon period as technocratic Prime Minister appears to be over. The confirmation that Italy's recession is deepening heightens pressures on Monti's government, which is struggling to fend off the debt crisis, and the perception that Italy could be next to seek a bailout following Spain's decision to ask for help for its ailing banks. Today I am joined by Dr. Daniel Gros, Director of C.E.P.S in Brussels, to discuss the situation in Italy. Dr. Gros, thank you for joining me. Now, some experts say that a key fear stalking Italy's financial markets is that Monti may eventually lose political support and have to call early elections without having pushed through the reforms Italy needs so urgently. What do you think about this?
I don't think Italy needs now new elections. They need a more compact political system, social partners which see that there's a national emergency and that everybody gets around the government of Mario Monti, which is really at present the only game in town.
The Italian economy shrunk by 0.8% in the first quarter, the worst contraction in 3 years. Some of this was attributed to one-off issues such as transport strikes that hurt sales of durable goods, but many expect the second quarter to be equally dire. Dr. Gros, do you see this trend continuing?
I mean, everybody should have known that with the very steep fiscal adjustment which is being implemented in Italy, the Italian economy had to go into a recession. And I think it's actually better that it is rather sharp at the beginning, so that gives us some hope that it might be not too drawn out. And therefore, I would say it's better to have it done, get it over with right now.
Most of Italy's economic indicators are stronger than Spain's. While its overall debt is high, its deficit is low, at 3.9% of GDP, compared with Spain's 8.5%. The country also avoided a big real estate bubble like Spain's, meaning its banks are in better shape and private saving is high. Taking this into consideration, what do you think the likelihood of the so-called bailout creep, with Italy being the next domino to fall behind Spain?
It's quite clear that the aim has to be that Italy doesn't need any money, and as long as the Italian savers keep buying Italian government bonds, there's no reason why that should be needed. Italy has one strong point, which is the strength of its household savings. They have gone down a little bit over the last few years. If that can be reversed, then Italy should make it without needing help from the outside.
Some analysts say that to assure markets it can achieve economic growth and reduce its debts, Italy needs to keep on its reform course. The economy is predicted to shrink by 1.7% this year, according to OECD estimates. Dr. Gros, what do you think of this suggestion?
Well, it's very difficult actually to ignite growth. We know that from the past, if any government could just push a button magically and generate growth, it would have done so already. So I think we have to be realistic. Italy will not be suddenly a high-growth economy. Key thing is how we can mitigate the ongoing recession and perhaps over the medium run bring the country to a somewhat higher growth rate. But we should not expect miracle from a country which is already rather rich and which has a population which is now rapidly declining. Italy has a crisis, a financial and an economic crisis. But just saying now we should have growth doesn't solve the crisis, because just no way a government can just magically create growth. It is essentially a matter of accepting that adjustment takes a long time. Germany had to do that for about 10 years, between 1995 and 2005, and everybody said, Germany is a lost cause, they're too rigid, they can never come back. They did come back. So this kind of stamina will be needed now.
If not a bailout, what do you foresee for Italy in the short and long term?
The next 6 to 12 months will be tough. That's quite clear. There will be strain on the financial side, strain on the public finances. But if the Italian government can toughen it out, then from next year onwards we might have a new Italy emerging, which is much leaner and therefore also more competitive.
Dr. Gros, thank you for joining me. Well, that's all we have time for just now, but stay with Dukascopy for an exclusive interview on NIESR latest UK GDP estimate. Goodbye.